What? Seriously? Okay. Field 9, field 40. Let's see where. 9 should be over here. Oh, it's just behind there. And 40 is probably up by us. Yes. Okay, so let's do 9 first. With the crazy grabby tractor dude. Oh, okay. While it is the crazy grabby tractor, it doesn't have the crazy grabby thing installed. So, it doesn't look too bad. So this field is down behind the grain mill, which is not producing anything at the moment. Not a good piece of equipment to be driving around the roads of the UK. When you get this sort of size, you kind of need it to fold up, which begs the question, does it? No. Do we have beacons on this? Again, no. Okay then. Good fun. Let's smash a car and another car. So I'm guessing panoramic window on this. We've got front one and a rear one. That's so you can see what the grabby thing is doing if you install the grabby thing. Okay. Think. Not sure I can get to that field without going the long way round. Yeah. Okay. We'll go the long way. So now eventually I might add a cultivator to the farm's equipment roster. It doesn't help with the environmental score. So it's not something you really are going to be using a lot of. However, there was probably an easier way to go. Oh no. But just having one is kind of a handy thing, I guess. Because then we can start taking it out and doing these sorts of contracts for everybody. Although again, not... Wow, that's a lot of dust. Whew. That is a good mod. Oops, we should probably left it. There we go. Then we won't kick out a ton of dirt as we're driving, as we're turning. think I've got a real, what's it, dirt particles mod and a smoke particles mod that add to the amount of crap that a tractor puts out at the back as you're doing things. And I think it's gauged on if it's raining you get less dirt. If it's dry you get an absolute ton of it. Even so, it does mean you can't see your tractor when you're cultivating because it's gone. But as we were talking about mods that interfere, if either of these two mods didn't play well with one of our other mods, then I would drop them, because they're more sort of an ambience type of mod than a, hey, it's really useful and helps me play the game, like something like GPS does, for example. Okay, I think 2 headlands will be good. And then I've got no idea if this is making more stones or not. I suppose I can look along the edge of the map. I don't think it's making a lot of stones. That's part of the problem. Different. I'm not sure whether it's. What am I trying to say? The early tests I did of, what effect stuff has on a field. You kind of assume, well, if I'm using a harrow, all harrows should do the same thing and produce the same textures. And they didn't seem to be consistent. So you're really guessing as to, especially using things like subsoilers. Is the subsoiler going to produce a ploughed texture or a cultivated texture or a harrowed texture? And what's the difference? And is it going to produce small rocks, medium rocks, or large rocks? And it's all really awkward. And we have, since we have the what's the word for it? Since we have the delineation of different equipment types, so you've got cultivators, you've got shallow cultivators and normal cultivators. They could have been split up into different sections. You've got harrows, you've got power harrows, you've got the new digger things, and then you've got I can't remember. What have you got? You've got spaders, subsoilers, power harrows, disc harrows, cultivators, and ploughs. And they all do pretty much the same thing. Prepare the soil for seeds. And it would be, as I was saying, it would be nice if all of the same type of piece of equipment would do, produce the same effect. And so I know that if I run this piece of if I run a plough, I'm going to make big rocks. I'm never going to generate weeds. But it's not always the case. And I don't know, again, if that is in part map dependent as well. Because I'll run a piece of equipment on a map and, I got big rocks. And then I run it on a different map and it's sort of, I didn't get big rocks. What's the deal there? Okay. am going to, since this is leased equipment and comes with GPS, to width, I believe we're heading at 090. And bear with me a second, I'm going off my... Okay, back again. So as I mentioned, Mrs. Osa cleaned the church yesterday, so she doesn't have to go today. Huh? But she has to go collect the kids, so that will be happening in about 15 minutes. So we will probably run till about 11:30 and then call it a day on the stream, because we'll have lots of loud kids in the background. Since the church is cleaned, Teenage Osa has taken the opportunity to sleep in. So she's probably going to have an awesome time at around 11:30 when the kids turn up and decide they need to jump on her bed or something similarly amusing. But, yeah, at the moment we've just got snow on the ground, on the green parts of the ground. There is no snow on the roads, no snow on the pathways, and no snow on the trees. Although that hasn't been the case all week. I think we get some respite from the snow today, but we are going to get a ton more at the tail end of next week, so Thanksgiving should be a fairly white affair. So how does this little tractor look? It's 2380. Since we're coming up to the holiday period, I might take a little time out to do some personal farm sim time on Silver Creek, something Silver, whatever it's called. The new map that has stuff to do with logging. It'll probably break my desire to chop down trees in any of the other playthroughs I'm doing, but yeah, it's a new map. It does look very. It's. I agree with. There's a couple of YouTubers that have said this is probably the best map that Giants has ever done. And I have to agree, it definitely, it has all the right atmosphere. It's definitely not obviously an agricultural map, so don't be thinking about producing a ton of ag crops or adding a ton of animals. It's really not designed for that. It's designed. It is a logging map. Sosnovka was where they introduced logging to the game, I believe. But it was still a farm sim map with a whole bunch of trees that you could chop down. Whereas So that would have been Farm Sim 15, I think. Platinum. Oh, I don't think they were called Platinum editions then. They were metal. They were what I call metal editions. They were either Farm Sim 15 Silver or Gold or whatever. But once we hit Platinum, they just said everything from now on is Platinum edition. But I may just play that map just to have a little bit of fun, chopping down trees and doing stuff. Don't know how far we are through this contract. Sadly, yesterday, while Mrs. Osa was out in the morning, she didn't get back in time for me having to go into the office for a meeting all afternoon. And so I did my meeting, I got in the car to come home, and the check engine light's on the car. It's kind of a case of, since we don't use it that frequently, probably not going to look into that until the new year. Although I don't like leaving vehicles sitting around for 6 months at a time. Admittedly, New Year is not 6 months away. But Fanzelt pin track. Oh, we are contracting on the field is finished. Let's do that then. So, £966, woohoo, we got paid a fortune. And then the next one's in a nice little orange tractor. So I do want to look at that tractor. Bit small. Antonio Carrera. Platinum expansion. So there's the Volvo, which it's 140 horsepower, but sometimes I look at that and I question whether it really is, because it really seems to struggle. Class Axiom Kubota. Interesting. Not a tractor. Large tractors. Any large tractors in the Platinum Edition, or do we have to hunt for them? We have to hunt for them. They're not considered to be tractors. Are they considered to be forestry machines? Yes. So there's that thing, which is 180 to 236. That's quite significant. They also have a forwarder. Or something. No, what did... okay. Actually, that would probably work quite well at loading logs into a container. It's 235,000. That's expensive. And then we have little green tractor, which has a crane and blade. Oh, right, so it has that on the back, a blade and a crane, which you can drop off and crane and blade, standard, has this on the front, don't know what that's for. And then stuff. Put an Asaria Pro on it, and it is 300. That's quite a chunky little tractor. This thing looks like fun as well. which has the, grab the logs and lift them up. That's going to get you probably a bit more altitude than a normal wheel loader's going to get you. Anyway, we got to use that little truck thing. Did I just mess up taking a contract? Or did I not take the contract? There are no contracts available. Oh, the contract cleared. Okay. We took too long deciding about it, and it decided to not be a contract for us anymore. So, all the contracts are done. 178. I am going to check. Repaint 31,000. Yeah, not doing that. Customize. So we've got a 326. So 357. 388. 31,000 to make this the tractor we want it to be. Should I do that now? Kind of thinking I do that now. Drops us back down to 140,000, but that puts this 8R on a par with our old class Axion 940 and the Agco 1000. Good little field workers. And we did save a ton of money on the tractor because it wasn't bounce. It was on sale. So did I look at the sales? I can't remember. Let's look at the sales. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, the Sea-Talk came up. And a manure wagon. It's, again, that's one of the things of, we have a ton of manure. I could possibly use one of those. Or not. We could sell manure. We have an absolute ton of it. I'm not sure how much a wagon of manure is going to be worth. Maybe we'll run one down. So, January 2nd. I have done a contract today, so I'm not allowed to do any more contracts in January, but there aren't any, so it doesn't matter. Last day of the month is usually the day I run the perishable sales, so we'll run the tomatoes out to the store and go and pick up the bread and sell that as well. I do need a lime spreader. I think I've added lime contracts and rolling contracts to this playthrough. So that's just more contracts we can do. Because I figured that would be a nice thing to have available to us, and it would encourage me to consider buying that equipment. We do want to lime our fields. Eventually I'm going to want to roll my fields, but spending tens of thousands of pounds on a roller for a very small increase in yield, you get more return on your money with having a sprayer or a spreader or other things that improve your nitrogen, improve your other stuff. Okay, what I am going to do is we'll drop this trailer over here. And I'm going to stay in the John Deere, because this really is our best tractor for haulage at the moment. Well, I mean, the Deutz is good enough. The problem with it is we're now looking at about 150 hours on that tractor, so I'd like to keep it available for work over time. I'm not looking to replace it anytime soon, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, sort of if I can stave off doing it, then that'll be fine. Yeah, I'm cheating. I need to take a front. Next time I've got a front loader down at the store, I should buy myself a bucket. Maybe I should just buy myself a bucket and leave it at the store, and then next time I'm there I'll just remember to pick it up. But there's 20,000 litres of manure. Where can you sell this stuff? Manure. Poop, 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 poop. Manure. We have 198,000 litres of the stuff, and we can drop it off in the open air garden, obviously, or we take it to the biogas plant. So I guess we're going to the biogas plant with this. Now, problem with the biogas plant is you can fill it up. I think it tracks everything separately, so you can load it up with silage, and you can load it up with manure, and you can load it up with maize silage and whole crop silage. So each type of thing you load into the BGA has a different load, kind of like the grain mill, where you can put 50,000 litres of wheat, 50,000 litres of barley, 50,000 litres of whatever, and it tracks each one separately. But you can't put 200,000 litres of barley in. It will only take 50 of each product. And I think the BGA works similarly. Obviously, I don't know for definite because I haven't bought it, because it's over £1 million. So I can't see how it's tracking the inputs, but it seems to be that each input is a different thing. So we can throw a couple of tens of thousands of litres of manure in there and then just leave it to process. We don't get the benefits of the process, but we can dump manure down there every couple of days till it's full. Obviously, I don't want to fill it up because that means I'm running with a tipper full of manure back to the farm. But this run is really just to find out how much it's worth. Probably not a lot. 36 times 20. I think this load is worth about £720. It's probably costing us more in diesel to drive there and back. Just saying. But, yeah. I have nothing else to do with the stuff at the moment. However, you can use it for fertilization contracts, so that might be an option in the future, to just run fertilization contracts with the manure.